Join me as I dive into Kim Wayans' story and try to uncover the heartbreaking secret she kept silent for years. EXT, Wayans' family home, Los Angeles 1960s day. A modest home pulsates with energy. The sound of laughter, arguing, music, and overlapping voices spills from every window. We see it through the eyes of a young girl, Kim, 5, small and observant. She watches her older brothers Keenan, Damon, Sean command the living room with physical comedy, turning a sibling's spilled milk into an epic, slapstick tragedy. Kim isn't laughing. She's studying. Narrator VO. To be born a Wayans was to be born into a symphony of chaos. Creativity wasn't a hobby. It was the family business. It was survival. And in a house this loud, you learned to speak up, or you learned to disappear. Little Kim doesn't join the fray. She slips away. Kim's bedroom continuous, a sanctuary of quiet imagination. Kim ties a faded bedsheet around her shoulders, transforming it into a cape. A hairbrush becomes a microphone. Her dolls are a captive, rapt audience. She performs a solemn, intricate story for them. It's not overtly funny. It's heartfelt, dramatic. Narrator VO. But Kim Wayans discovered a different frequency. For her, performance wasn't just about getting a laugh. It was a language, a way to translate the world, to understand her own heart. The door bursts open. One of her brothers sticks his head in. Brother, Mom says come eat. And stop talking to yourself. He's gone. Kim looks at her dolls, unfazed. She gives a small, knowing smile. This is her world. EXT High School Auditorium 1970s day. Teenage Kim, 16, on stage in a school play. Not a comedy, a drama. She delivers a monologue with a startling depth of feeling. The audience, rowdy moments before, is pin drop silent. Then, applause. Her family is in the front row. Her brothers clap, impressed. Her parents beam. Narrator VO. The gift was undeniable. An instinct for truth, wrapped in timing. She could move you to tears just as easily as she could make you spit out your drink. But in the Wayans dynasty, comedy was the currency. And Kim was about to enter the market. Montage the grind. Kim in improv classes, the only woman, often the only black woman, holding her own. Kim doing stand-up in tiny, smoky clubs, facing down in different crowds. Kim writing late at night, pages filled with characters, not just jokes. Keenan watching her perform, a proud smile on his face. He sees it, the raw material. Narrator VO. She didn't write her family's name. She carried it. She built her craft from the ground up, knowing that in this family, pedigree got you in the door, but only talent let you stay. In Living Color set 1990 day. Chaotic, vibrant, revolutionary. Kim is in the writer's room, pitching a character. She gets up, transforms her body, her voice becomes something else, something bold, awkward, hilarious. The room erupts. Keenan nods. Narrator VO. When the door to In Living Color blew open, Kim didn't just walk through. She kicked it off its hinges. This was her proving ground. Not as a Wayans, but as a force. Montage Kim's characters. Benita Buttrell, the perpetually put upon, sweet-natured every woman. Lady Eloise, the sassy, no-nonsense gossip. A myriad of others, tourists, mothers, activists, all infused with a specificity that made them iconic. Narrator VO. She didn't do impressions. She did incarnations. She found the humanity in the hysterical, the vulnerability in the absurd. She proved funny wasn't about being the loudest in the room. It was about being the truest. Agent's Office 1995 day. Kim, now in her 30s, sits across from her agent, Mitch. Kim, it's a sitcom. Lead role. Network. The money is, it's life-changing money. They want a Wayans. They want you, Kim. And the script? Mitch. It's a framework. You'll punch it up. You always do. Kim. It's demeaning. The wife is a prop. The jokes are lazy. It's the same minstrel show in a nicer living room. Mitch. It's a hit show. In a nicer living room. This is how the game is played. Your brothers, Kim, aren't me. She turns back to him, calm, resolved. Kim, Candid. I pass, Mitch. Mitch stares, disbelief turning to frustration. Mitch. You can't keep saying no to power and yes to whatever this is. Loyalty? Principle? That doesn't cash checks, Kim. Momentum does. And you're stepping off the train. Narrator VO. And just like that, while her brother's stars ascended into the stratosphere of moguldom, Kim Wayans seemed, to the outside world, to step back into shadow. The narrative wrote itself, the one who didn't break through. The question mark. Kim's apartment night. Quiet. Kim is on the floor, surrounded by sketches, watercolors. She's co-writing a children's book. The drawings are whimsical, gentle. Kim VO to her writing partner. I want her to feel seen, not laughed at. Seen. Understood. Narrator VO. But Kim wasn't disappearing. She was redirecting. The energy that once fueled characters now fueled stories for children. Stories about big feelings, curly hair, and magnificent imaginations. There was no applause track here. Just the quiet, profound work of healing. EXT Family Gathering Backyard 2000s Day A massive, joyous barbecue. Dozens of kids run around. Kim is the center of a swarm of nieces and nephews. She's not the glamorous aunt, she's the present aunt. Telling stories, mediating squabbles, teaching a teenage niece how to apply eyeliner with a tender, steady hand. Narrator VO. Family was her anchor. In the chaos of the Wayans empire, she became a port. A steady, loving, intentional presence. She loved fiercely, but she also learned to build boundaries, a fortress of self-preservation around her heart. That balance was a hard-won war. Int. Therapist's Office Day 2010. Kim sits in a chair. She's composed, but the weight in the room is palpable. Narrator VO. But some weights are too heavy to carry alone. The loss of her nephew, it wasn't a chapter in her story. It was a fracture in her universe. Kim looks at her hands, then up, her eyes glistening but dry. Kim, I keep waiting for it to get lighter. It doesn't get lighter. You just get used to carrying it. And you learn to smile while you do. Narrator VO. Grief became a silent character in every scene. It stood beside her on red carpets, sat with her in quiet rooms. And the industry, her family, the world, they expected Kim Wayans to be funny. So she performed, even here, especially here. Int. Film set 2015 Day. Kim, in her 50s, is on a modest film set. A indie drama. She's doing a scene, a monologue about loss. The performance is breathtaking, stripped bare, utterly real. The director calls cut. There's a stunned silence, then respectful applause from the crew. Her co-star, a young actor, approaches, awestruck. Young actor. That was, how did you do that? Where did that come from? Kim offers a small, weary smile. Kim, life. Narrator VO. Every so often, she'd return. And every time, a quiet shockwave would ripple through those paying attention. The talent hadn't atrophied. It had deepened, rooted itself in something real. Critics called it a revelation. For Kim, it was just an exhale. Int. Podcast studio present day. Kim is the guest. The host, a thoughtful woman in her 40s, leans in. Host. The comparison, it's the elephant in the room. Your brothers achieved a level of fame, wealth, cultural dominance that's almost mythical. Do you ever look at that and think, what if? Kim considers it, not defensively, but with deep reflection. Kim, what if I'd said yes to every script that made me cringe? What if I'd traded my piece for their definition of peak? I know what that life looks like. I saw it. I love them for it. But it wasn't my path. She leans forward. Kim, Candid. My brothers built empires. I built a life. A life where I could look in the mirror and recognize the woman staring back. Where my yes meant yes and my no saved me. Host. And the grief. Kim doesn't flinch. A slow, deep breath. Kim, I used to think talking about it would give it more power. Turns out, silence did that. Giving it a voice, that didn't take the pain away. It just took the isolation away. It let the air in. EXT Community Center Day. Kim reads from one of her children's books to a small, diverse group of kids. Her voice is animated, warm. A little girl with big glasses listens, utterly entranced. Kim reading. And even on the days the world felt too loud, she remembered the quiet song inside her own heart. And that song was enough. The little girl smiles, a recognition of self in the story. Narrator VO. This is the legacy that doesn't make headlines. It makes humans. It's the whisper that tells a child they are not alone. It's the proof that a career can be a series of choices, not just a climb to a summit. Int. Kim's home night. A comfortable, artistic space. Kim is alone, watering plants. She looks at a wall of framed photos, family, childhood plays, the in-living color cast, her book covers. She is at peace. Not the peace of absence, but the peace of integration. The funny woman, the grieving aunt, the writer, the anchor, all one person. Narrator VO. Kim Wayans' story is not one of absence, but of presence. A conscious, courageous presence in her own life. In a world screaming for more, she mastered the art of enough. She didn't fall short of fame. She surpassed a far more insidious trap, the loss of self. Close on Kim. She smiles to herself, a genuine, unperformed smile. Narrator VO. The little girl who turned curtains into angel wings never stopped performing. She just redefined the stage. Her life became her masterpiece. And her authenticity, her quiet, costly, glorious authenticity, became her most unforgettable role. Final shot. A slow push in on Kim's face. The laughter lines are there, yes. But so are the lines of sorrow, of thought, of resilience. It is a map of a life fully lived, on its own terms. Kim to herself, a whisper. Worth it. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.